What's in here?
It looks like an indoor garden.
This is the Academy's rose garden. The person who called you here is waiting inside.
Who did call us here anyway?
Whoever they are, they must have considerable social standing.
Your Highness, I brought the guests. Thank you. Please show them in.
Oh.
No way.
Hey, Elise, is that...
You don't need to ask when you already know. Now, if you'll follow me... I knew it! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of Class 7. My name is Alphen. Alphen Rice Arner. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Come on, Elise, cheer up. I'm sorry, all right? I was only trying to tease you a little. Don't you have something you wanted to discuss with everyone? Please, go right ahead. Well, that aside, it's been a long time since I last saw both of you, Eustace and Laura. I'm glad to see you're both well.
Likewise, Your Highness.
You've become even more fetching since we last met.
Aw, thank you! I was rather hoping that you'd decide to enroll in Sanctus Dryad too. But it seems you chose to attend Thors after all.
Well, I've committed myself to following the way of the sword, and Thors gives me a place to hone my skills. I apologize for not being able to live up to your expectations.
First I lost Angelica to Thors, then you too. Perhaps I should just transfer there next year myself. Your Highness. Got you to look! But I...
Well, she seems lively.
She seems far more easygoing than I was expecting.
I've heard plenty about her, but none of that prepared me for meeting her in person.
Wait. Angelica, when you said about Angelica, is that the girl that likes to wear the leather bodysuit, the racing suit, and likes a bike? Pretty sure it was her, right? I'm pretty certain.
So, this is what it's like to be in the presence of royalty. It's actually rather overwhelming.
I can see why people always compare her to an angel.
Me too.
Please don't worry about me. While I still have much to learn before I feel like I deserve my status among the nobility, I've been blessed with wonderful friends, and I'm enjoying life here at the Academy.
Well, she does seem to have at least one wonderful friend. Kind of an understatement when that friend happens to be Princess Elphen.
I'm particularly happy to finally be able to meet you, Rean Schwarzer. Elise has told me so much about you. Your Highness!
I'm honored that you'd say so. Elise always mentions in her letters what a great friend she has. As her brother, I wanted to thank you for that.
Rean? Oh, it's so refreshing. You're every bit the person Elise says you are. Perhaps even more so.
Huh?
Actually, I have a teensy-weensy favor to ask. Do you think I could join Elise in thinking of you as my dear brother as well?
What?
Your Highness! You see, Elise has spoken of you so often that in my heart, you've already come to feel like family. And now that I've had the opportunity to meet you, I fear I simply can't suppress these feelings any longer. I have 2 brothers already, of course, so I'm sure it won't take long to adjust.
I couldn't possibly. I mean...
That's enough, Your Highness. Aw, don't be so stingy. Surely it wouldn't hurt to share him with me a little. Anyway, that aside, the reason I called you here today was not to talk with me. There is someone else who would like to meet you.
Why? It's not like we're famous.
Who do you mean?
Hey, isn't that...
A guitar? No, a lute?
Oh, it seems he's arrived. Oh,
I apologize for keeping you waiting.
it's a pleasure to see you again.
And you as well, young lady? Well, I trust everyone here has been making themselves comfortable?
Who's this guy?
I'm not sure, though I feel like I've seen him somewhere before.
I serve as a music instructor in the hallowed halls of this fine academic institution. In truth, I am ever on the hunt for that elusive mayfly we call love. But that might raise eyebrows at a girls' school. But whose pulse would not quicken wandering into this untainted cloister of dew-eyed maidens? Ah, the romance.
Could he be?
Ahem. Ow! I think that's quite enough. Any more of that and our guests may start edging toward the exit.
Ah, I can always count on you to never miss a beat, my dear sister.
Oh, wait. So this is... Whoa.
Indeed. 'Tis I, Olivert Rice Arner, also known by some unscrupulous individuals as the Debaucherous Prince. I also serve as Thors Military Academy's ornamental chairman of the board. It's a pleasure to finally meet you, ladies and gentlemen of Class VII.
Another chairman? Wait, he's chairman of the board? Wait, what? How many people are we gonna find on the board already for Thors Military Academy? Good lord. I mean, it makes sense that they're connected in such a manner. Oh wow. That's really fancy.
I have to admit, I was surprised to learn that you're the chairman of the board of directors, Your Highness. I'd heard that the chairman was a member of the imperial family, but still.
I'm not surprised. Who would expect the infamous prodigal son to chair a committee at a prestigious academy like Thors? I suppose it's not surprising they'd rather keep it hushed up, though. It wouldn't exactly be great for the school's image.
That's surprisingly forthright coming from you.
Is it really true, though? I mean, that you were the one responsible for establishing Class 7, Your Highness?
Indeed, I was. You see, it's always been a tradition that a member of the imperial family serves as chairman of the board. At first, I wore the title in name only, but I had a change of heart after my vacation in Liberl 2 years ago.
You were in Liberl back then?
That would put your visit during the incident that occurred there, correct?
Right. All I've done since I returned to Erebonia has been inspired by my experience during the crisis in Liberl. As a result, fruitless though they may prove to be, I've set a number of plans in motion. One of which is to bring the winds of change to Thors Military Academy. A gust of fresh air, if you will.
Winds of change, huh?
I can only assume you're referring to our class?
Then the one who decided to throw both commoners and nobles into the same class was...
Yes, the idea was mine. Although the selected students also had to have a high aptitude with the Arcus units too.
I think I'm finally starting to understand the reasoning behind Class 7, and why we're being sent all over Erebonia on these field studies.
To show us firsthand and give us cause to consider the conflict between the two factions. That is the purpose behind our field studies. Is it not, Your Highness? That is one of the reasons, yes. However, my foremost intention was to show you that during your lives, you will encounter many obstacles and conflicts, not just between factions, but between the capital and the provinces, tradition and technology, even between nations. In these turbulent times, I thought that this would provide the hands-on education today's promising youths need. We need up-and-comers who can think and act independently to face tomorrow's challenges head-on.
That makes sense.
Wow, that's quite a plan.
I can't help but feel a little unsure whether we can live up to such high expectations.
Hearing your explanation has, at the very least, cleared up many of the doubts I've had up to this point.
Class 7 does seem like an ideal environment to expand one's outlook on life.
I feel like going through everything we have so far has brought us closer to doing exactly that.
Yep.
Marvelous. I'm so pleased to hear it. Just listening to you makes me feel even more certain that establishing Class 7 was the right decision. Especially since while the idea itself was mine, I have no real say in how the classes run day to day. Even so, I still hope to meet all of you at least once, if only to tell you all this. That was when Alphen stepped in and offered to set up this little meeting.
I see.
Well, I could hardly refuse such a sincere request from my brother. But it also presented me a fine chance to finally meet Elise's beloved brother, as I've always wanted to. Your Highness!
Thank you for taking the time to tell us all of this, Your Highness. I feel like now that I know, I want to live up to the promise you saw in Class 7. Thing is, am I right in assuming that Class 7 doesn't exist just to fulfill your progressive ideal?
What do you...
Oh?
The board has its chairman, of course, but 3 directors besides. My older brother Rufus, Imperial Governor Karl Regnitz, and Irina Reinford of the Reinford Group.
Oh yeah.
Now that you mention it.
They do seem to have certain expectations for us.
Precisely. As I mentioned, I no longer have anything to do with how Class 7 is run. That authority lies with the directors. As you're keenly aware, Rufus and Governor Regnitz sit on opposite sides of the factional divide. And while Chairman Irina is mostly involved with Class 7's technology, like the Arcus, her intentions are a mystery to me. And it's those 3 who decide where you'll travel for your field studies.
Is that right?
When you put it that way, it does make it seem like some kind of bargaining is taking place behind the scenes.
It was one of the conditions they gave in exchange for allowing Class 7 to be established. I'll admit, I hesitated to allow it, but I decided to place my hopes in you. We believed then, as we still do, that one day, you all will be a great light that can push back the darkness of this country. Well, I suppose when I put it that way, it sounds positively heroic. But that's just me. Don't feel too pressured by it. You're students, first and foremost. Reach out and grab that fragrant rose of school life. Join a club. Eat cheap food with your friends at midnight. Fall in love. We live but once. Make your youth count.
You know, it's weird, but hearing you say that kind of takes a load off my mind.
By the way, just earlier you said that we believed the Class 7 would be a great light. Is there someone else involved with Thors who shares your vision for our class, Your Highness?
There is. Principal Van Dyke. I once attended Thors myself and studied under him. He gave my proposal to establish Class 7 his full backing.
I see.
He's been particularly considerate toward us ever since we arrived at the Academy.
While he has no direct control over the running of the Academy, he does preside over the board meetings. And above all, he's the one who assembled an excellent team to give you first-rate training.
An excellent team, you say?
Are you referring to Instructor Sarah?
Well, she's certainly one of them. Still, coaxing her away from her former line of work certainly played a large part in giving Class 7 a great foundation. She is, after all, one of the strongest people in the Empire, and her experience makes her a natural field leader.
Wait, what?
Instructor Sarah? One of the strongest people in Erebonia?
Will we finally find out what her backstory is or where she came from? We were about to find out at one point, but that kind of proved to be fruitful.
Exactly what experience might you be referring to?
I've even heard rumors of her daring exploits myself. She was known as the Purple Lightning. Doesn't that sound exciting?
Wait. Purple Lightning?
I knew it.
If you two have heard of it, it must be a household name among martial artists.
That's right, though I've just heard it in passing.
Ah, that young ace of the Erebonian Bracer Guild, and one of the Empire's most famous bracers.
Called it. I called it. I knew that she was probably a bracer or something. I called it.
She has a history full of brave feats and dangerous deeds. She was even the youngest bracer to achieve A-rank status. Back then, she was known as the Purple Lightning. Now, you know her simply as your homeroom teacher.
Huh. Interesting. This is getting really interesting. I want to see what else is gonna happen. Let's keep it going, y'all. Let's keep it going. Thanks for seeing us out. I would have guessed you were friends with Princess Alphen of all people. Wish I knew how much of what she said was genuine. Hey, Elise. Thank you for taking the time to come here today. Take care on your way back to your lodgings. Oh well, thank you. Thanks for joining us around. Good night. Good night, everyone. Doesn't seem to want to talk to her brother. Wait. Oh, look at their faces. Look at their faces, especially... especially Lisa. Don't worry. I kind of understand where she's coming from. I doubt anyone would have guessed that Her Highness would extend such a bold invitation to you. I'm not sure how that's my fault. Poor Rean gets the short end of the stick. Ah yes, almost forgot. Rean, I have a small favor I'd like to ask of you. Of me? Your Highness. No, you're going to ask him? But of course. You see, tomorrow I'll be attending a garden party sponsored by the local government for the start of the festival. Or rather, Marcus's father invited me to attend. Yeah, I seem to recall hearing on myself. It's one that requests a garden in the Meadow Park, right? Indeed. Anyway, let's not waltz around the matter. I was rather hoping that you would join me as my dance partner, Rean. Hmm? Does that mean... Do you think Your Highness knows the old saying, dance today, a wedding tomorrow? I'm not sure that's fully the realm of tabloid speculation. Still, there's no denying that many will interpret it that way. Whoa, hold on a minute. I don't think I can... I mean, it'd be an honor, but it's like... too great of an honor for someone like me. Oh, not at all. Your father may be a baron, but the Schwarzers have long deep ties with an imperial family. Apologies if it comes across as rude, but inviting you would likely create less opposition than if I were to invite Eustace. I see. Well, I can't deny that. I need to apologize. Funny choice, rather fascinating, actually. Eustace, you're not helping. Anyway, I really don't think I'm the man you want. Sometimes I can barely keep from tripping over my own feet. Is that so? Liz told me that she asked you to help her practice the finer points of ballroom dancing. In fact, she says you're an excellent dancer, you step lightly and very gracefully. Isn't that true, Rean? Well... I understand. It was rude of me to trouble you with a petition like this on such short notice. And besides, I don't suppose you would have much interest in dancing with a little girl like me. No, that's not what I mean, Your Highness. That's my sister, right? She really knows how to twist the knife. Your Highness, please. You too, Prince Oliver. Elise is getting... She's trying to prod Elise on purpose, isn't she? It looks like they're having fun. I had no idea the Imperial family was such a lively and cheerful bunch. I get the feeling they aren't like that, always like this. I see now. How could it not have crossed my mind? Perhaps the truth is you already have your heart set on someone else? Or is this someone you're already courting? Well, do you? Positively down to know which maiden has conquered the battlefield of your heart. Oh wait, I mean... Yikes, how am I going to get out of this one? Not sure how to turn it down gently. Very well, I shall relent this time. Huh? However, next year, I'll be 16, just like your sister. That's when I'll be making my debut into high society, so I'd be very happy if you give my invitation some thought. Oh. Are we gonna have to wait until next game then? Aren't you a lucky one? Your Highness really seems to take a liking to you. Her smug look on her face. You were allowed to have accepted invitation. Might have led to something truly unexpected in the future. Nah, I doubt it. It seemed like she really took an interest in me because I'm a friend's brother. She didn't seem all that serious about it, so I figured she was trying to tease the two of us. Kid and I seemed that way. But I got the impression that wasn't all that was going on there. You weren't the only feeling nervous the whole time. Prince Albert was an even more unusual person than I heard. No doubt about that. He seemed entertained to be around. Do you think that he is the one who made Class 7 possible? He seemed easygoing, but hearing him talk about Class 7 made what we were doing feel even more important. Besides, he gave us plenty of other useful info. Yeah, including the fact that our board directors seem to have their own agenda for us. I have no idea what they're planning, but the motives seem incredibly suspicious. Agreed. Hearing about the instructor's background kind of threw me for a loop too. I would have never imagined she used to be a bracer. Maybe because you don't really see them around anymore to begin with. A rank is more or less the highest you can be too. I assume you already knew about her history fee? Yep, the guild's is every Jaeger Corps main competition after all. Probably even ran into a few times during operations. Oh really? Unbelievable. Almost forgotten about those good old days. Oh boy, that's his fucking star coming in. Almost forgotten about those good old days. There she goes. Instructor Sarah. Instructor. How long have you been there? So, looks like I finally found out my other work history, huh? I guess that kinda tarnishes my ravishing adult charm a bit then. I hate to break it to you, but you don't have any to begin with. Shh, did you hear that old man sighing? What was that? Oh. Good evening, everyone. Captain Claire. It's quite an unusual combination. That is quite an unusual combination. Maybe Captain Claire used to be part of the Bracers as well, maybe? And be the first to assure you that it wasn't my idea. But Governor's asked me to tell you that tomorrow's field study is still put on hold. Instead, you get an exciting opportunity to help this lady and her goons with the evil schemes. Huh? What evil schemes? Sir, could you maybe not try to put him off entirely before I even put a chance to explain? Actually, there's a matter I'd like all of you to help with. Discuss this with Governor. He decided this would be the best way to handle the issue. Whoa. I feel so kind to get on board. Explain everything to you as the command post in Heimdall Central Station. Huh. We're being put away in cars now. That's a little bit suspicious. A little bit dangerous. But I wonder if that dance invitation is going to make a bigger play towards the later part of the game. Maybe in the next game? Kind of feels like it's going to play an important role in the next game. I don't know if this game actually has routes or not, but I don't know. It seems like there was a choice between the princess and also particularly between Alisa and Laura. Because they seem to be pretty high-strung whenever Princess Affine talked about the dance and everything. Terrorists. Indeed, we have no choice but to define them as such. Unfortunately, we have no clue as to their aim, nor do we know the names of the group members, its size or its history. At present, it doesn't even seem that the terrorist group has established a name for itself. That's a lot of unknowns. Would it be correct to assume that man we met in North Highlands was trying to start a war as a member? Oh yeah, that particular thing. That particular guy. Remember the boss for that place? It was the worst. Spotter boss? So he's one of them, He said his name was Gideon or G or something like that. So that's what the man you encountered in the Highlands was up to. He does sound like a terrorist type. And you think he and his group are going to try something tomorrow, on the first day of the summer festival? Currently operating under that assumption, yes. Summer festival lasts 3 days, but unlike festivals in other provinces, only the first day garners much attention. It's been a month since the incident in Nord. If they intend to make their next move soon, tomorrow is a likely time. Have to agree. Tourists do love their own time in the spotlight after all. Considering how easily Gideon gave you his name, I'm betting you'll start to see them acting more openly soon. First you gather arms like the others, like-minded allies in secret. Then you reveal yourself with a bang and keep going with quick succession. That's the type of terrorist MO. I see. And you want us to assist with the countermeasures against them? Right. The RMP will be joining forces with the Hamdell military police to bolster the capital's security. Fortunately, as big as the capital is, I can say with a complete confidence there will be no holes in our security. That's where you come in. Be assisting our security measures as a reserve force. It should be nice if the guild was still active though. It would come in mighty handy right about now. Yes, I don't disagree. Sarah, you do know that the RMP has no involvement in the guild's withdrawal from the capital, right? Oh really? I mean, your boss and that brother of yours could hardly take the opposition of the guild, more obviously if they tried. Well, no, they still really seem to have a messy history between them. It sure looks that way, especially where the guild is concerned. Although, it sounds like your brother has been keeping busy in Crossbow recently. So, what's it gonna be? Whether you choose this as your field study task for tomorrow is totally up to you. If you decline, there are plenty of tasks the government needs to take care of, like you've been doing the last few days. Summer Festival was a busy time after all, lots of little details that need to be squared away. I think I speak for Group A when I say we'd be glad to join with the anti-terrorist countermeasure. Group B feels the same. Alright then. Thank you for your assistance, everyone. Now let's move right along to confirming the patrol routes we'll be following. Alright, dealing with terrorists is not gonna be lovely. Well, we're gonna have to deal with them one way or the other. Might as well help out and do something more meaningful than just loiter around and do errands.